Welcome back to Matt Makes. Today we're going to work on a photography light box so the models that we create can be better displayed. Arguably the most important part of a light box is the light. This is a Vigene LED light from Amazon. It's not exactly for this purpose. It's typically for photography mounted to a camera, but we can definitely make it work for our purposes here. Once you're inside the box, it does come with a pretty comprehensive set of instructions in several languages. Obviously, the biggest object in the box is the light. It's not huge, it's about the size of my palm, but it's more than enough for what we need. There is also mounting hardware to mount to a camera or video camera and the charging cable. You will need to provide a plug-in outlet or you can charge off of a USB. As far as lighting goes, it does come with a pretty good charge. It was about 80% charged up. It is nice and bright. It also comes with a dimmer, so you can go up and down depending on your light needs. Quick check of the instructions, just simply to familiarize myself with the kit. And I realize that there is also, on top of the dimming, there is a color correcting to go from warm to cool. So you can get a variety of potential moods out of one piece of equipment. As for the light box itself, it actually became a more complicated project than I had initially anticipated. I thought I just need 5 pieces of foam core and a poster board, a few tools, as you can see here, measuring tape, straight edge, box cutter, some tape, and a pen to make an awesome and perfectly functioning light box. And I suppose maybe someone with a little bit better crafting skills than me could have done just that. So I went ahead and marked off a square by taking the width of the poster board and then putting it down along the length. I wanted as close to cube as I could get. With that done, went ahead and put my straight edge up on my marks, and I connected the lines between. Obviously, perfect accuracy isn't needed, but as close as I could get. I figured if there was a little bit of wave or wobble, the cut side would become the front. You'd never see it in photos, so it shouldn't really matter. I also know using dollar store props that probably going to get a little bit of variant on the sides, but that's okay. With that done, I went ahead and got my box cutter, and using very light pressure, I took multiple swipes down the foam core. Looking back on it, I should have just used the X-Acto knife, which I did eventually come around to, or maybe a sharper blade. What follows is many cuts over and over again on 5 different pieces of foam core until they were all cut square. That done, I went ahead and flipped it over and made my cut on the back because the knife didn't cut through the bottom paper. Check the edge real quick, make sure it's cleaned up, and on to the next piece. Here I had the great idea, rather than measuring it all out again, I'm just going to square everything up and mark my line off of the master template, and it worked well enough for what I needed. Just make sure that everything is square before you start putting ink to foam core. And like I said, lots and lots and lots of cuts. I probably swiped close to 100 times to cut these. Again, should have just used the X-Acto knife or swapped out for a fresher blade. I did eventually stumble across the X-Acto knife, and I'm very glad that I did. It made the rest of the process just that much quicker. That accomplished, I went ahead and ensured that I had 2 square pieces, and I do. I got my tape, and the plan was find the pretty side, make sure that was the side I don't tape. Go ahead and put 2 strips of tape. The first one is off camera, the second one you can see here. Once those tape are attached, go ahead and just simply flip the box over. Bring up the next piece of foam core, line it up. I did want a little bit sticking out so that when I put the back on, the foam core went all the way to the back and it didn't have a weird gap. I still ended up with a weird gap, but it's because it was not square, not because this idea didn't work. Took a minute, the tape wanting to grab when I didn't want it to, and then it's just a matter of fold up the tape and attach. Flipping it over so that the wall is on facing down to the floor, went ahead and put more tape. Flip it back over so that the sticky side of the tape is pointed upwards. Grab another square and ensure that the overlap faces the same direction as the previous one, which it did, thankfully. And just fold more tape up. All right, confession time. I had great angles and just amazing visuals, but I forgot to hit record. Well, actually what happened was I was recording, and when I hit what I thought was record, I stopped it. I did put the light on the top center of one of the pieces of poster board or foam core, and I cut out a smaller hole than the light. That way it won't fall through the hole. Putting the bottom, or rather the top on, was a little trickier than I had anticipated, and as you can see by the crisscross of tape, it took a little bit more support as well. There is a tiny square of opaque shower curtain that I taped on the inside of the hole, which you'll see on the final video, to help diffuse the light. All it was 5 pieces of poster board, or foam core, a poster board that I curved inside so that there's not hard angles, shower curtain, and that light. And while my videoing skills may leave room to be desired, I am very much so satisfied with the final product. And let's go ahead and take a look at that now. So from the top, we have the LED light sitting over the hole that we cut out with all the cross bracing to hold up the roof. Underneath of there, we have that little bit of shower curtain, which is working great to diffuse the light. As you can see, I mentioned in the video, there is a little crack there. All I have to do, put a little bit of tape to hold it shut, and that's just because the poster board isn't exactly square. Or foam core, I keep calling the foam core poster board. This is poster board. I did trim a little bit off the edge so that it would fit in here snug. It hides the back corner, creates a better angle of light, and then we have the edges that I needed sharper blades for, as you can see. So that's what it actually looks like. Let's see what we do with it once we put a toy in there. All right, Barbatos is in the light box. As you can see, we're getting some dramatic top-down lighting. I could move the ring light in here for more of a front light. I did, oh, you can see the edges again. I did look it up like I promised. And this particular model, he's actually the best of the worst for the Iron Blood Orphan series in HG. He was the 5th worst model, specifically because of the issues that we've been encountering as we built him. He likes to fall apart. He doesn't stay balanced. Whatever. I like him. He's fun. Also, after careful consideration as to whether or not to modify him or leave him, I am going to leave him. Oh, look, his sticker's coming off. That's probably the one that was left out in the air. I'm going to leave him. He's going to be a testament to how far we go and what we do. I had thought about working him into my first diorama as broken since he falls apart. I don't think I'm going to do that. If he does end up in the diorama, he's going to be as is. Maybe I'll put him in a museum. Who knows? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And if you stay around for just a few more moments, I'm going to go ahead and give you a sneak peek at what we're working on next. See you later.